What's up, you guys, and welcome back to Stalk by GiGi 101. Today is Sunday, which can only mean one thing. It is time for a recap, review, whatever, of tonight's episode of Once Upon a Time. Pause if you have not seen tonight's episode and you are not okay with spoilers. Stop. Why don't you just go over and check out my last video, which happens to be a DIY makeup remover and lotion. You'll love it. And if you don't wear makeup, you can use that as the moisturizer. So, let's get into tonight's episode. So, tonight's episode was not that entertaining to me. Again, it revolved around, like, Belle and Rumpelstiltskin, and I just don't find that storyline appealing. Sorry. So, it revolves around that storyline, and then separately it revolves around Emma having some kind of a dream / nightmare / vision that, like, comes true, because apparently she's Raven, and she can see into the fatoodle. But like Freddy Krueger through dreams, I think. And it also revolves around hope. Now, I know you guys are saying,
GiGi, every episode of Once Upon a Time revolves around hope. The whole show revolves around hope.
But oh, no. I mean, blatantly, this revolves around hope. So I'm going to talk about each thing separately. So first, let's talk about the lesser of the two plot lines, I guess, which would be Emma. So Emma has this dream that she has found some kind of magic that can, like, allow her to take their names off the tombstones. Recap on the tombstones, it says Snow White, Emma Swan, and Regina Mills. So as she's about to do it, Hook is all like,
"Oi, Swan White. I've been a captain for many years and I know when a storm is brewing. Take cover!"
So they run, and they run behind a tombstone. All of a sudden, it stops, and Emma's like,
well, that was anticlimactic. Like, that was super quick.
So Snow White's like,
what do you think happened? Maybe we should go check.
And all of a sudden, pounce! Something pounced on Snow, and apparently, Snow died. Emma woke up, completely freaked the frickin' frack out. So Hook is all
like, "Yo, you okay?"
and she's like, yo, I'm fine. So she's like,
I'm sorry I fell asleep during the watch.
And he's all
like, "No, I'm glad, cause homie, you haven't slept since you've been here."
She's like,
I'll sleep when we kill Hades. Alright.
So they look down because they're on the roof, and of the library. When they look down, they see like this glowing light, and she's like, "That's the signal. Let's go." So they go into the library, and if you remember, in Underbrook and in regular Storybrooke, inside the library, there's that chamber or whatever that leads all the way down. You know what I mean? So Regina's written all these things or whatever on, and Hook is like,
"Oi, what's all that scribble scrabble going on that board?"
And Regina's like,
"The scribble scrabble is a combination to open this."
And Charming is all like,
"Yeah, maybe we can figure it out, open it, surprise attack, whatcha?"
We can get down there. So Regina and Emma, like, do their little magic thing, and the vault opens, but there's like a wooden block in front of it, kind of like in Coraline when they first opened that little door and it was just bricked up. It was like that. Which, P.S., if y'all want to bring Coraline to Once Upon a Time, thumbs up, because I think that would be, like, awesome. But anyway. So they're like, okay, great, now we have to find another plan of attack. So Emma's like,
well, I had this dream, and in this dream, I found out, like, a spell that could get our names off. And she's like, for whatever reason, that dream was super vivid, and I remember everything.
Let's just forget the fact that you had the dream from, like, 5 seconds ago. Maybe that's why it's so vivid. But, right. So she wasn't telling them everything, especially the part about, like, Snow White about to die. So they're all like, yeah, gung-ho, woohoo, let's go. And she's like,
nope, I'm gonna do this by myself.
Snow White's like,
no, I'm coming with you, because I made a promise. We're gonna get out of here, we're gonna get back to our son, and I'm coming with you whether you like it or not.
And Charming's like,
"You don't want to disagree with your mom."
So they're like, fine, whatever. They go. Regina's like,
"Alright, well, I'm going to stay back because I need to talk to Zelina because apparently they have history, and Zelina might be the only person who knows what the frickin' frack is like Hades' weakness, you know?"
So they go, and one by one, everything that happened in Emma's dream starts to come true. Them being there, Emma trying to do the thing, a storm coming. But the only difference is that Emma's fully aware of what's going on, and she's super freaked out. And they're like, dude, what's wrong with you? She's
Like, this is exactly like my dream. We need to stop.
And someone's like,
No, what is wrong with you? It's just a dream. Nothing's gonna happen. We're gonna find this. We're gonna be okay.
and she's like,
No, because there's something I didn't tell you.
and they're like, well, what? She's like,
Well, you die.
so they decide to take cover in Regina's vault. So Regina goes down to the vault, and she finds them, and she pretty much sat down and ate with Zelina and found out that Zelina had a thing, that Hades had a thing for Zelina, and then she was like,
do you like him?
and Zelina didn't say anything. She's like,
Ugh, great.
and Zelina's like,
As far as I know, I'm his only weakness.
so she goes down to the vault, and she's like, what are you guys doing in here? And they tell her that there's some kind of weird thing out there that's like trying to get them, and blah, 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 blah. And then Regina's like, okay, so Zelina's pretty much like, well, Zelina thinks that she's like his weakest link. A goodbye. So while all that is going on, we are finding out the story as promised from last week's promo of Belle, Gaston, and Rumple. So basically, Rumpelstiltskin killed Gaston, which is why he's in the underworld. And thank God they did that clip, because I totally forgot, because I was like, why is Gaston here? But yeah. Belle comes to Rumple, and she's all like,
I want you to promise me that you're gonna use light magic, and we're gonna save this. We're gonna save our child. Blah 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 blah.
and he's all like,
Why are you still harping on this? I am the Dark One, and let's be honest, when things need to get done, 9 times out of 10, you're not always going to do it the right way. You're usually going to do it the dark way. It's just a matter of perspective.
and she's all like,
Well, I don't believe that's a matter of perspective. I believe that you can always do the right thing.
so now that's that little ongoing battle, and Rumple is like obviously over this, and Rumple just keeps reminding her like, you knew who I was before all of this. I'm just saying, you knew who I was. So all of a sudden, Hades pops up in Gaston's like occupational space, and Gaston's like,
What are you doing here?
so he's like,
I have a problem.
and he's like,
What?
he's like,
Flowers are growing here.
and everyone's like, what? Can't nothing grow here? It's the underworld. He's like,
Right, but we have flowers growing here. Why? Because people are having hope. I don't like hope. Hope is messing up my evil hair on fire flow.
so Gaston's like,
Okay, well, what are we gonna do?
and he's all like,
The Dark One's here. He's like, good, someone finally killed him. He's like, no. No one killed the Dark One. He's still very much alive, and you're gonna kill him, and you're gonna get your revenge.
for him, killing you and leaving you from your fiancé. So he's all like,
How am I supposed to defeat the Dark One?
so he like goes like whoosh, and then these bow and arrows come out, and he's like, really, brah? Really, bow and arrows? And he's like, look at the bow and arrow really, really close. He looks at it, and it's like this glowing red thing, kind of like the hearts when Regina used to snatch them out of people. Can we just take a moment to remember and miss that? Thank you. So now it's been like his mission to go out and kill Rumpelstiltskin and to regain it. He goes, and like everyone is just surprised, like him, Belle, everything. They're like, yo, what is going on? And Rumpelstiltskin's like, it's gonna take more than a surprise attack to try and kill me, truth be told. So he's like, whatever. And Bella's like, Gaston, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm gonna get revenge. And Bella's all like, nah, you're not gonna kill him. And she jumps in front. Excuse me. And he goes to shoot her with the arrow, and Rumple kind of zooms them out to the freaking harbor, because everything always goes down at the harbor. And it's there at the harbor that they find out that there's lost souls. And Rumpelstiltskin's like, so I'm just gonna kill him and get this over with. And Belle is all like, no, he must have unfinished business, which is why he's still in the underworld. And we're going to help him move on. Because the more people we help move on, okay, that might be how we can defeat Hades. And Rumpelstiltskin's like, yeah, whatever. Whatever. So while all this is going on, we're seeing flashbacks of how Belle and Gaston met. And basically, Belle's father arranged it because they needed his, they needed Gaston's family's, like, kingdom to help them with like the ogre wars that was trying to come to them. Because remember, Rumpelstiltskin originally took Belle many seasons ago in exchange for helping them with the ogre wars. That's how he actually got Belle. Belle volunteered herself to go. So they were like, all right, fine, or whatever. And she's like, fine, I'll meet him. Well, at first she didn't want to meet him because she heard that he was just like really bleh. And just, you know, like the Gaston that we saw in Beauty and the Beast, very narcissistic and things like that. And basically they go on like a walk, and they pretty much fall in love on the walk. And while they're on the walk, they find a big ogre track, and Gaston's like, we've got to go and tell your father. And then inside there's like a baby ogre, and she's all like, but he's like a baby, like what? And Gaston's like, no, he could be an informant. And Belle's like, well, before we go and take him to our father where they're gonna torture everything, let's go look through some books, because she always looking at a book. Okay, let's go look at a book and figure out if there's a way that we can tell if he's evil or not. So he's like, fine, whatever. They go through all these books, and they end up finding a magical book that tells you about all these magical things. And there's a mirror that lets you see evil. If someone's evil, their eyes turn red. If not, then their eyes are just like, you know, normal. So Gaston's really like impressed with her fieriness and da-da-da-da-da. And she ends up giving him a book, and the book is called Her Handsome Hero. And she gives it to Gaston because that was the first book that she read that kind of made her fall in love with reading. And it's about what makes a hero is compassion and forgiveness. And Gaston kept the book because she gave it to him. And so they go back, and she's like, the book, she goes, the mirror is only an hour ride away. So I'm going to get on my horse, clickety, clickety, clack, and I'm going to go get this mirror, and we're going to see if he's evil or not. And bada bing, bada boom, we're good. So she comes back, and Gaston's knocked out, and the baby ogre is gone. And they're like, what the flip knows God, what happened? And he's like, I don't know, but he attacked me. Right then, something seems sus. Because this whole entire time, Gaston just seemed like really like chill, like nothing like his character. Nothing at all from like the Disney movie. And so they go after the ogre, and Belle keeps saying, no, we need to like let him look in the mirror because he may not be evil. Like maybe he attacked you because of something that you did. Maybe he felt threatened. We really don't know, and we really should not attack him without finding out. And they're all like, little girl, go, bye, little girl. Like, we gonna go do men's work, and you just gonna be quiet. So they finally get the ogre, and he goes to kill him, and Belle's like, no, stop, you're not gonna do this until we look in the mirror. And Gaston's like, he attacked me, that's all I need to know to kill him. Which is like a reoccurring line with Gaston throughout the episode. So he draws it back, and he goes to shoot, and Belle sticks the mirror in front of it. So it ends up shattering the mirror, and there's like just a little shard left inside of the frame, and it's reflecting on Gaston, and Gaston's eyes are red. She looks at Gaston, then she looks at the baby ogre, and then she notices that the baby ogre has a whole bunch of like lash marks. Like, you know, in slavery times they used to give him lashings or lickings. And she's like,
You're the evil one, not him. You attacked him while I was gone.
and Gaston's like,
He's the enemy.
and so she let him go, and the ogre was like, thank you. Gaston's like, well, I hope your leap of faith was worth it. And then all of a sudden her father comes in while she's like brushing a horse and goes, yeah, well, we're going to the ogre wars. And she's like,
So it's my fault.
and he's like, no, but I'm saying like you shouldn't have let it go. And she was like, well,
Well, maybe it's his family retaliating for y'all like beating him. How about that one?
but that's not even the end. Here's the kicker of it. The kicker is that in order for them to beat the ogre wars, because now obviously the ogres are getting closer, they need Gaston's family. Gaston's still very much so interested in Belle, so her father's pretty much like, you need to be betrothed to him and marry him so that we can have his family and their army, and we could like, you know, get rid of the ogres. And she's like,
Ew, no. Ugh, fine.
and every time the father finishes up like a final sentence, Gaston keeps appearing like he a creep. But I right. So she ends up agreeing to being engaged to him. And then I'm assuming not too long after, that's when we see from a few seasons ago how Belle's story came into play with Rumpelstiltskin. So after all those flashbacks, back in like Underbrook, Gaston is thirsty for revenge, and Belle's like, we just have to find what's keeping him here. What's his unfinished business? So they go into the locker room, and his locker is locked, and she's like, oh, can you use your magic? And Rumpelstiltskin's like,
oh, so you can choose when we're going to use dark magic.
And she's like, what? And he's all like,
you don't think me using magic to break into a man's locker to find something to help him move on isn't dark magic?
And she's like,
we're not murdering him, okay? Just, I need to find it, so can you do it?
And he's like,
opportunities. Blah.
And he does it. And so she finds the book after like 5 seconds of searching. She finds the book that she gave him, and she's like, oh my God, I'm his unfinished business. So she's like, you can leave. I'm going to deal with it. So not too long after Rumpelstiltskin leaves, Hades appears, and he's all like,
I want to make a deal.
She's like, I'm married to a guy who makes a deal. I already know what that means. So yeah, that's a negative. He was like,
well, this deal might behoove you because it's about whether you get to keep your baby or not.
So she's like,
maybe. What's the deal?
He's like,
I need for you to allow Rumple and Gaston to fight, and whoever ends up in the River of Lost Souls, well, doesn't matter who, but as long as one of them does, you get to keep your baby.
So she originally says no deal, and he's like,
fine, but it's amazing what you'll do when your child is at stake. Amen. When you're ready to make the deal again, let me know.
So she's like, okay, whatever. And then that was kind of like the end of that. So then, Gaston's still running around trying to like kill them. And she goes back to the shop, and she sets up like a dummy decoy, and Gaston comes in and he like shoots it, and he thinks, yes, I've got him. And he realizes that's not him, and Belle's like, are you for real? Like, you legit would kill him if you got the chance or whatever? And he's like,
absolutely. Do you know what he did to me?
And she shows him the book, and she's like, am I your unfinished business? He's like,
I've tried to get rid of that book, but I can't. I died because I tried to lead the life that you wanted me to.
So basically he was saying, I died because of you. You know what I mean? So she's like, no, that's not it, or whatever. And so somehow she gets with Rumpelstiltskin, and she's like, oh, Hades came to visit me, and there's a deal. Rumpel's like, what's the deal? She's like, I'm not going to tell you. She's like, what is the deal? And she tells him what the deal is about the River of Lost Souls, and he's like, I want to be the man that you want me to be, which is what he says to her legit in every episode of their love story together when something goes wrong. He's like, but I'm not going to do it right now. And he turns himself, gone. He gets to Gaston, and he's got him in a chokehold, and Gaston's like, you can do whatever you want, but I'm still gonna be the beast. And he's like, the funny thing is, I don't give 2 flying monkey nipples. When will people realize that Regina, when she was evil, was very content with being evil? She didn't care, because she was on a vengeance mission. And Rumpelstiltskin, he really don't care, because he knows he's the Dark One. So he's about to throw him over into the River of Lost Souls, which the whole water of the harbor in Underbrook is the River of Lost Souls. Cray cray. So all of a sudden, Belle appears, and she's all like,
Rumple, no, what you don't understand is that I've always known who you were, and I loved you anyway.
And she kisses him, but it was like a sneak attack, because she took out the dagger, and she was like, but I can't let you do this. I command you to let him go. So he's like, you don't know what you're doing, and he lets him go. First thing that Gaston does is pick up them arrows and tries to shoot him, and she's like, no! And she pushes him into the River of Lost Souls. And Hades appears, and he's like,
well, that was an interesting twist.
And she's like, she's mortified. But she's like, whatever, we had a deal. And he's like,
oh, no. The deal was that you were supposed to step aside and let them do it. And even though it was a very interesting twist, that wasn't part of the deal.
So my question is, when did she accept that deal? Because I don't remember any part of the episode where she accepted that deal. He tells Belle that basically, like, you did what you had to do to save your kid, and sometimes when you do what you have to do to save blah, 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 like, it's not always good. Same thing Rumpelstiltskin told her. And the flowers started to wither, and he was like, now, that's my favorite kind of flower. The one that smells of hopelessness. So that was his whole entire goal. Now, let's go back. Now, at this point, Snow White and Regina and Hook and Emma Swan go off and they're gonna look for this. Well, they are looking for like that beast thing that came from the storm. So now I'm very, very, very confused. Which the last time we saw a storm and someone enter it in, it meant that they came in through a portal. So now the question is, where did this portal come from? I'm pretty sure the answers will be answered next week. But they like are walking through the forest and this thing is zooming. Like it's Emma and Regina use their powers. They freeze it and it's a wolf. And Snow's like, I think that you're having visions of the future and they're going to kill it. And she's like, no, there's like some kind of a red coat. She puts it on top. Anyone who watches Once Upon a Time knows, hello, it's Red Riding Hood. And she's completely knocked out cold. And like, it's like, wait, what? What? How did you get here? Last time we saw you, you were like with that land with Merida and Mulan and what? What? Once Upon a Time? So, all that happened. So the episode ends with Zelina sitting at the diner and all of a sudden like this plate with a cover is given to her and she's like, I didn't order anything. And she opens it up and it's a like wilted flower and it says Zelina on it. And obviously it's written in like Hades' signature font or whatever. And she has like this deliciously evil like smile. Now I'm inferring that flower came from Hades, but I don't really know, but it's an inference from past events. You know, if you've ever taken like 3rd grade English, you know what an inference is, and foreshadowing. Yes. Amen. And then we go into the promo for next week's episode, and it is coming back with Red and Mulan, and I guess how Red got there, and if Mulan is there, and all this other craziness that I'm just like, I can't wait for next week. You guys, Once Upon a Time, I swear, this season, it's almost like every 2 episodes are entertaining, and then 1 episode not so much. But this show, yeah. So if you saw the episode, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it. As always, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and share because sharing is caring. Make sure that you subscribe because you want to come swimming with me and the GiGi Meister Merpod. We're always trying to add more to our family because we're a loving family that just wants to grow scales and swim away. Thanks for watching. Loves and like, share. Bye-bye.